Okay, we are live. We are live. We had a little technical difficulties a few minutes ago, throwing me off. But either way, so today I want to talk about how you navigate the uncertainty gap within change, within shifts and major shifts into different cycles or different versions or different levels of everything and how your emotions that are connected to your thoughts frame how you creates your experiences. So one thing I want to talk about is the bloom cycle. The bloom cycle is a transformation road or journey that I created to show you how to for real have personal evolution within yourself. So our old system that we were kind of governed or moving through was an excessive masculine energy space, right? So moving into the feminine energy, which is higher in voltage, higher in frequency, which will require a lighter body of yourself, right? So the old version of ourselves was very much heavily involved in the earth. The Piscean age was very much earthy, dense, thick. Okay, thick, 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 thick. But the space that we are in, the arch, we're in the arch. We're not fully into the Aquarian age, but we are definitely meshing with that energy as of right now. So the energy that you're feeling is the feeling of trying to figure out what's really going on. My old self and what I guess is going to be my new self or my new world is emerging at the same time that this world that I live in is going on, right? So when you come when your mind is literally bred to work in an excessive masculine space, meaning you're very earthy, you're very external view about yourself, your external view just in general is very well based in the physicality of things, right? So in that world, you don't have your emotional intelligence. You don't really have your emotional intelligence because you're living your life, you're literally expressing in the world cosplaying as a woman, because I'm talking to ladies. I'm talking to ladies. We really been out here cosplaying as women. You know, we got the skirts, we got the lashes, we got the makeup, we got all of those things. But our internal operating system has been working in a square, linear, excessive masculine manner, right? So, like I was saying, the uncertainty gap is where we're at right now. Everything is changing. Look at the world, how AI is coming in and automation is coming in and all of those types of things. This means that the way we move about in our earthly experience, not just in your life, but your earthly experience is going to determine you giving up this density, giving up these beliefs, these things that you have used as your morals and values in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that that necessarily needs to be given up, but the fact of reevaluating those needs to come into play, because all the things that we created as structures in our lives, the strongholds of our lives, are now on shaky ground. A lot of people are realizing things that they used to believe in are now questionable, even down to something as deep as their religious beliefs. Their cores are being shaken. You know what I'm saying? The way you define things is also being changed as well. You used to define things in a specific manner, but now you're not, it's really not the thing anymore. It's just really not the thing anymore. So when I say that you have to navigate this spaces of uncertainty, it's not just the external world. The most uncertainty that you need to navigate is your internal way that you move, how you're moving internally. And the way you move internally is very much connected to your intuition and your emotions, your nervous system. So in this new age, all the things that you did physically don't hold this much weight in this age, the age of air, which has everything to do with your mental. The unseen realms has everything to do with your mental and your emotional, and how those things show up in your body, because your body is your subconscious mind, your body is water, all the things. And I could get into that at a different time. So what happens is you don't know the signs or the signals of where you're at. You have this overwhelming sense of anxiety. A lot of people are experiencing just tension in their stomach, just clenched, bracing for whatever they believe is next. And because you feel like you can't hold on to anything, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of confusion. You just don't know what's going on, right? You just don't know what's going on. So what I teach people is that it doesn't matter what's going on in the external world. Don't get me wrong. Keep your ear to the ground to see where things are navigating on a collective level. But what's most important is your own personal rhythm. And you're going to have to tap out of the external in order to tap into your internal, because your internal has kind of been muted a little bit because you keep paying so much attention to the external world, the news, what's going on in the culture, what's going on in this situation, all these different sectors. And you're not realizing that the sector that you're really supposed to be paying attention to is you, your life. What are you streaming? What are you streaming? Are you streaming fear? Are you streaming insecure? What are you streaming? Doubtful about everything. So when you project, when you send out that kind of signal, that's the energy that you are bringing to the collective, which now if someone is on a collective timeline or signal, they're all getting the same scattered all over the place. Most women want to run away from the uncomfortable. We have to stop running away from the uncomfortable. The uncomfortable is where our power is. What do you think is happening when you going up with that period, with your menstrual cycle? That is the space where you're gaining power, because you're losing and building all at the same time. So we have to stop acting like we need to move our way from, we have to be comfortable. We have to be comfortable. We have to be comfortable. No, comfort is not what being in the gap is. The uncertainty gap, that is just not it. That's not where comfort lies. Uncomfortable is you trying to be comfortable in uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. Okay? Instead of leaning into what this feels like. I'll put it to you like this. So the other day, I was experiencing a level of sadness. But I remember back in the day, I used to think that being sad meant that I needed to hurry up and figure out how to not be sad, like try to bring myself some joy and things like that. This is where emotional intelligence did not live within me. I didn't know how to navigate sadness. I didn't know how to navigate grief. I didn't know how to even navigate what you would call happy. I didn't even really experience happy until some years ago. And I didn't even know how to connect the fact that these emotions were the definition, or the defining of them were from someone else's defining. I didn't define what sadness felt like to me. I didn't define what grief was to me. I did not define what happiness was to me. And this is what I'm saying, like when we pay too much attention to an external source, instead of leaning into this uncertainty and learning how to navigate our own energy. And our own energy is our emotions. Navigating your emotions is going to be top tier. This is where you're going to be able to learn yourself way better than you've ever learned it before. This is how you're going to break down the crystal cities that your mind has built neurologically to keep you in a constant loop of protection. This is how you're going to navigate that. Because listen, when it comes to how your brain creates a default engine on or a default story is through the emotional currency that's running from one neuron to the next, which then creates a whole city within your mind, meaning an entire story that you decide to live by. Okay. But the thing about this is when you're creating a new story, when you are creating a new story, and listen, honey, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you that has the business. I'm talking to you that's playing the strong woman. I'm talking to you who thinks that you can't put down your masculine selves in order to lean into your feminine self. I've been talking about this for the longest, and my personal opinion is that the woman needs to reabsorb the man. Reabsorb the man. She birthed the masculine as in order to see herself. But the men out here been running amok. So we need to reabsorb the masculine within ourselves because we've been given this masculine the what is the word? We've been given the masculine the power to navigate for us. But the problem is homeboy don't know how to navigate. Out here calling him provider, out here calling him all of these things, but he's been raised. His psychological makeup is a mess. It's excessive, it's rigid, it's obsessive, it's controlling. Okay? So by you absorbing your masculine self again, meaning stop turning giving your energy to an external source. Okay? You now go back through and take your energy back. You take your energy back. So now you use that masculine energy that you have been excessively putting out there. You now use it for yourself. So all the things that masculine represents, structure and security and provider and all those types of things, you now create that for yourself. But this is the thing. How would you be able to do that? How would you even be able to do that, know that, understand that if you are totally oblivious to who you are? Who are you? And the best thing that I love to say is not necessarily who are you, what are you? What are you? Because most of the time when you decide to figure out who you are, it comes from the lens of an outside source. Because an outside source has governed how you're even supposed to figure out who you are. Well, what do you like to do? What are you passionate about? Go find your purpose. Your life is your purpose. Period. Period. Because if you take the time to go through the bloom cycle, to go through your bloom cycle, to figure out your own personal rhythm, to remember who you are and what you are, I recommend to go through the entire bloom cycle is to be selfish for one entire year. That gives you an entire year to go through a personal development year by seasons. Go through these stages in order to get back in tune with yourself. And it is vital. It's vital. And I'll tell you why it's vital. Because if you go through these stages, root, rise, reach, and return, okay? Each stage reintroduces you to yourself. The root is the best one. Now, I do this through a collective, through the calendar. I teach per the calendar through the bloom cycle. But your personal bloom cycle, this is what I recommend. Your personal bloom cycle should be you start it in your winter phase, which would be when your birthday. Okay? Because if you match it up to you being born and all that and becoming you're a new earthling. You're in the realm of the seed. You're fully taking in the blueprint, understanding like what's going on, right? So while going through these stages, you get reintroduced to yourself. Okay. You get to see all of the things that have been running like bondage loops, the loops. You become aware of yourself. That's why I said become selfish for an entire year. It's time to not give a damn. It's time to not give a damn. You've been spending way too much time caring. I was at this thing called the August Quarterly this summer, and this woman was coming around and she was doing interviews and things like that. Honey, she said she came up to me and she went up to, a couple of other people and she asked them like, what do you think we should do for the community? For the community, 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 right? And, people had all of these things to say and, oh, we should do this and, create more programs for that and do this and that, whatever. When she got to me, honey, I said, I think that we should spend less time working on the community and come up with an individual curriculum or framework to work and then get that situated and then go back out to the community. Because the community, most of the time, is being led by completely broken people. It is the reason why something happens in the community and it can last for 40 and 50 and 60 years. No, the point is to get out of that. The point is to get out of that space, that phase, that season. We shouldn't need to have a book bag drive for eternity. If you're going to help people in the community, help them grow. Help them grow. How many years do you need to show the people in the community that there's healthy foods? We have the internet. They should know that by now. To eat better, to drink better, to watch what they, you know what I'm saying? So what? Let me bring this back to where I was at. Within what I'm saying is the uncertainty gap should not be the point where you turn around and go back. It just shouldn't be the point where you turn around and go back. You should stay and see where you're going. And even if you can't see where you're going, these are the stages where you decide. You're choice crafting. But you have to know yourself before you make these choices, because most of the time, the life that we are trying to get away from, the life that we designed that we don't even care for, is because it was created haphazardly. Your signal has been incoherent and you've made it normal. And we say this all the time. What exactly is normal? What exactly is normal? We've decided that having 3 meals a day is normal. And because of the internet and advantages of seeing people in other countries, we realize maybe not so much. I mean, the American way is considered abnormal. If we talking about what the East got to say about it, you know what I'm saying? So the phase that we are in right now and going into is the rise phase. The rise phase is just like spring. You are going into your spring, and it's giving I'm coming out. It's giving I'm coming out. You're leaving the static and the stagnation behind. The static is the thing that keeps you local. Keeps you local. It keeps you living in a town that you never leave. It keeps you thinking that there is growth when in all actuality, there is no growth. You've just been circling the drain with an illusion of looking like growth. Everything looks like growth. Oh, well, they put a new, I don't know, McDonald's on the corner. Oh, well, look, we got a Home Goods here. And oh, well, look at the babies growing up. Look at my hair getting gray. Oh, this body, all these things. But yet, the way you see the world is very linear and infantile. You haven't chosen to expand yourself. You haven't chosen to be bigger than what you were. So this phase is really much about, blooming. And it's sort of like the plant, like the way that the plant, like the bud is coming out. You done left the encasing of the seed. And it shows up in so many places. This is why when they say that they changed the calendars from the 13 month and how they used to go along with the moon cycle, it's all been doing the same thing. But the calendar that we've been raised upon, the way we've had to memorize the days of the week and the month and all of those types of things, that was literally getting you to accept a version of reality that was false. That was getting you to walk away from yourself. Everything that all the systems, all the things that we have been under, and the systems is the structure that the excessive masculine, the patriarch society, the Piscean age, all of these things are, we have the face of the company for them. So we continuously call these human people. The theys are human people. No, they're just the face of the company. This is an energy that decided that what was more important was the external. Okay? So we came from a place where the feminine energy was the more dominant, right? But we're talking about cycles here. So we came from a place where the feminine energy was more dominant. And how we fell, when they talk about this in ancient texts, when we fell into humanity, the feminine wanted to see a version of herself, which is the masculine. But she became way too enamored with that. She became way too enamored with that version. You know what I'm saying? That version of herself. So we fell deeper and deeper into density, etheric density. We fell deeper and deeper into that. And we got so heavy that it's now not sustainable anymore. It's not sustainable anymore. We can't fly anymore. We have to let off some weight. It's too many bags on the plane. Because we are originally air people. Okay? So that's the thing. Like, navigating through the uncertainty is you being willing to be unsure, but then also create your own things to be sure about. And how you do that is by using your feminine, creating, using your feminine, creating, and then using your masculine to contain that creation, to give it a body. Okay? That's basically what this is about. Newsflash, it's always been about you. It's always been about you. But you've walked away from yourself. You walked away from figuring out who and what you are. So the way you're going to navigate this, the way you're going to navigate this uncertainty gap is to be aware. Be aware of how you're feeling. Be aware of how you're thinking. Those two things will then bring awareness to how you're moving. Question yourself and listen to the answer. You were the only guiding source with yourself. And yes, you may be in a stage of being obsessive about learning. I get it. I get it. But even the student needs to back away for just a second to now be able to calibrate and mix up the pot and interpret it in their own way. So don't run. Don't run from this uncomfortable. Read it. Pay attention to it. See it. It's you. One of the biggest flexes that you're going to use to walk through this to get through this is really understanding universal law. The law of rhythm, the law of correspondence, the law of duality, polarity, the law of gender. All of these things are going to explain to you what exactly is going on. You know, you're on a personal evolutionary track that you choose. Okay. But no matter what, each part of this layering and leveling up is going to come at a space. There's going to be a fork in the road that's very uncertain, and you're not going to know which way to go. That's where you're going to have to fully lean into what your broadcasting signal, what your signal is to navigate it. Because the external world is not showing you certainty. So all you have is your intuition. All you have is how you feel about it. And then you have to decipher what those feelings are. You have to question the fear. You have to question the apprehensiveness. You have to question the anxiety. Question the thoughts. Question the doubt. Question the insecurity. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, navigate some level of a trajectory of where you want to go. You still have to do that. Like, you still have to do that. Don't leave the uncertainty because it's uncomfortable. In this uncomfortable is where you are going to find yourself. Because the comfort of the normalcy is what got you in this place in the first place. Not knowing who you are, not understanding what you are is what got you here. So this age that seems new is really old. And it is about taking you back to your original self, which is way more powerful, way more big than what your default setting mind has told you. I always liken this to Jean from the X-Men. Your mind has been binded. Your heart has been binded. And when I say that, I mean it's been binded. It binded your powers. So now in this level of uncertainty, you are trying to figure out how to navigate the life that you built for the one that you really want. And that's coming with women 30 years old, 40 years old, 50, 60. Folks is out here realizing like, oh, I'm 50, I'm 45, I'm 40, and I got all the things that they said. I got the job, I got I made the money, I got the, the investments, I got the car, I got all of these things. Yet, why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? It's because you chose to make the external world your happiness. And don't get me wrong, it has its pleasures, it has its things, it has its things. But what's missing is you did all of those things for the external world. You went through all the lengths, you did all the things for the external world, yet your internal world is a mess. Is a mess. And I just told my daughter this the other day. I said, it's like you walking through a neighborhood. It's looking real Stepford wives. Like it's looking real Stepford wives in this neighborhood. Oh, it's so nice and cookie cutter and your perfect little cul-de-sac or whatever you want to look at. They got the reefs up, they got the, lights, they got the little whatever, all the things, the lawn things is perfectly manicured, all the things. But then you go to open the door and the inside looks like a hoarder's house. What? Oh. Oh. All you care about is looking pretty on the outside. All you care about is looking pretty on the outside, but you ugly on the inside and dirty, junky, have no idea where stuff is, buying more stuff because you can't find the old stuff, just buying into the loop with your attention, which is your interests, your intent, your behavior, how you move, all the things. All the things. This is what you've been wrapped up into. Emotionally, you are crumbling. You are crumbling. You're crying at night, in a closet, in the tub, in the shower, smiling when no one's looking because you know how to perform. Every day, constantly being met with disgust and also spiraling mentally because you can't seem to figure out how you're supposed to get out of this. How you supposed to get out of it? Because the way you got into it, you don't actually know the framework of how you did that. Because you were going by a framework or a system that wasn't necessarily yours. And this is part of the reason why you're uncomfortable in the uncertainty. Is because the systems that you have been under have taught you that everything requires comfort. Our entire way of life is about bringing us comfort and convenience. When you hurt yourself, go to the doctor. We got to go to the doctor. You got to go to the doctor. Oh, you have cramps. Here's your pills. Here's your pills. Here's your pills. You got a headache. Here's your pills. Like everything is about trying to handle the discomfort. But discomfort is a part of the journey. Growth does not come without discomfort. And you trying to be obsessive about being comfortable is what got you stagnant. Is what got you looped into this illusion of growth. But your mind and the way you process things is infantile. Everything is telling you that you are moving into a space of higher consciousness. If you don't want to use consciousness, you could say evolution. Technology is telling you that you need to bump up your processing system. Bump up the way you see what you would call is the future. You need to expand on how you're going to do this. Because, like I keep saying, the physical way you do things is outdated. It is outdated. So if you continuously running on this outdated system, it's like, child, that is like having a Tesla trying to put a Toyota's engine in it. Where are you going? Where are you going in this Tesla with this Honda, this Toyota engine? You're going nowhere. You're going nowhere. Feminine energy is higher velocity. Feminine energy contains the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Masculine energy is a very small, visible part. Very small. And you got to understand that when I'm talking about this masculine energy is, listen to me, is literally trying to operate the entire ocean from a glass. Masculine energy is your conscious mind. In your conscious mind, you only use 5, maybe 10% of that. Feminine energy is your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind. That is literally 90 or 95% of who you are and how you navigate through your life. So you out here thinking, oh, I know what to do. I'm going to do all of these things. You're going by an external system that has set you up to go nowhere, but to loop, right? And the way it did this was to imprint falsities to your subconscious mind. Because you, as the human, is the device. Your subconscious mind, hold on. You, the human, the vessel, is the device. You are the host for consciousness. You are the host for consciousness, okay? So as the device, the same way that you would look at this when we're talking about technology, technology is your science. It's the science of you. But because you keep looking at these physical things, you can't see yourself in it. Okay? So you, the masculine is the conscious mind. The feminine is the subconscious, unconscious mind. When it comes to technology and computer, you as a biocomputer, you're a living computer. The feminine is the software. The masculine is the hardware. The software gives instructions to the hardware. The hardware is the tangible. The hardware is the physical. The software is the imagination, the ideas, the intuition that streams into the physical, the device. But understand this, that software still gets instructions itself. It has the blueprint and it's been distorted. Because you have to understand that this whole thing, your operating system is not a fixed thing. You can change, you can shift, you can update, you can make a new code, you can do all of these things. But when you run your operating system, if you're operating from a excessively masculine energy, and from the external, you keep feeding your subconscious mind through your eyes, through your ears, through what you eat, through your environment. You keep feeding your subconscious mind all of these lies. You keep feeding your subconscious mind all of these things that got you locked down. You've created a literal crystal city within your brain, which has now become your default setting. So you running off of a lie system has become your default setting. And your subconscious mind is going to do what it do. Those are the instructions that you gave it. And because using only your masculine side and not incorporating, and I always call this a sacred it's a sacred marriage. Your brain and your body, your subconscious and your conscious mind are in a dysfunctional relationship. You're in a dysfunctional relationship. They need to go to counseling. They need to go to counseling. But you too busy making sure that they don't talk to one another because you've rejected your emotions. You've rejected your emotions. You've rejected your emotional body because that's the matching piece. But in your external reality, the woman, as a symbol of feminine energy, has only just been used to hang on to like a purse. Because the person or the vase or whatever, the system that has shown you that, oh, we want the visual, we want the device of a feminine, but we don't want her input. We don't want her input because we know that it's more powerful. Why would you want your mother speaking for you? You know what I mean? So it's just like, you need to take yourself through my recommendations. You need to take yourself through a year of going back to yourself. And I do that through the Bloom cycle. That's what I offer clients. This is what I talk about all the time. You done forgot your rhythm because the dominant voice, the dominant feeling, the dominant frequency that you've attuned to signal as a broadcasting system. We are broadcasting systems. We emit a signal. So the signal that you decided to tune into got you out here crazy. Got you out here crazy. This is the collective signal. This collective signal governs how you as an individual process things like emotions, how you understand thoughts, how you understand your body, how you understand everything. And every system that we have been under has taught you how to walk away from yourself. To walk away from yourself. You've left yourself dead on the side of the road, huffing, can't breathe, because you thought that that thing over there was better than your original self. Yo, they tell you this when they talk about the Egyptians. All ancient texts is talking about this time. Don't give a damn what religious modality you bring up. They're all talking about this particular time. When you get the eyes to see yourself, not something else, yourself. Who are you? What are you? You're not going to wish this process away. You ain't going to pray it away. You ain't going to witchcraft it away. You're not going to do any of that thing. You're not going to ancestor it away. It's time to get uncomfortable. Yes, honey. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to, you have to live in the uncertainty gap. And that's what this whole live was about. Being okay with uncertainty, being okay with being uncomfortable. It hurts. Yes, it does. It makes you feel mentally unstable. Yes, it does. But what do you think detaching from something old means? We experienced this during puberty. You just weren't aware what was going on. But now it's time to grow up. Like I said, stop being so infantile. Grow up. And I'm talking to the ones that can hear that. Like, grow up. In this age, I don't care what nobody say. You need to learn to navigate the unseen. And how you're going to navigate the unseen is by getting in touch with your extrasensory senses, learning that language. And this can show up in so many ways. Learn how your consciousness is speaking to you. You are an individual, but you are the many all at one time. Listen, your heart will talk to you. Your liver will talk to you. Your ears will talk to you. Everything will talk to you. But the problem is you walk away when it's time to listen. Everything's talking to you right now. But are you listening? Are you listening? We want you to listen, but we also want you to implement. This is the year of identity, the year of implementation. Okay? We're supposed to get it, understand it, put it into practice, and move on to the next level. Not stay around still circling the block on the same stuff. Like, why are we still talking about civil rights issues? Why are we still talking about abortion? Why are we still talking about healthcare? Why are we still concerning ourselves that was the fight of our great grandparents? Why are we concerning ourselves with that? You know why? Because you've been taught to care about those things instead of creating the new. You gave all of your power to, well, I guess the government's going to figure it out. No need to figure out how my body works as a woman or a man when I'll just go to the doctor and have them give me a prostate exam and a pap smear. What your coochie do? What that pain why do? What is it? What are we using it for? It gotta be for more than just babies and feeling good. You understand what I'm saying? Just giving all of these things to an outside source and you're walking around empty, but yet very full. Because everything that you need is already inside of you. You just have to activate it. Them curls ain't gonna be curls unless it has the activator, Bookie. Come on now, Jerry curl. The Jerry is the juicy. Your cells need to be activated. And guess what? They're already activated. The problem is you're not accepting it. And you know why you don't accept it? It's because you don't understand your feminine energy. Feminine energy is about receiving. Masculine is doing. So people who have been excessively moving in a masculine energy, and like I keep saying, my ladies, I love y'all. I love y'all. Conscious control and mind manipulation caused by, oh, yes, cellular oppression. Yes, 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 yes. But my ladies, we are out here doing the cute. Got your little hair, y'all wear the weave and stuff and little makeup and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I indulge because that is a part of the feminine, but your operating system is excessive masculine. You've been cosplaying as womanhood. I'm here to tell you. You've been cosplaying because you are using only a very small portion of femininity to think that you're controlling things. When in all actuality, all I see is desperation and a lack of unity within yourselves. Your body and your brain are not getting along. Your body and your brain are in a dysfunctional relationship. And the reason why your body does the things that it does, given the command by your brain, is because your brain has programmed your body for low vibrational shit. So you indulge in desperate activities, building a business incoherently, building your life from scarcity, thinking that you don't have enough of anything to to build. The other thing is the society and the systems that we were under do not promote creativity. It promotes creativity within a box. Because you tell me how many people that is running this tech world, do you see representation matter? Yeah. Because some folks, they not even letting come to the table, if you know what I mean. Some folks, they not even letting come to the table because they want you to work for them so that they can usurp your creativity and slap their name all over it. But listen, y'all, I gotta get off. I gotta get off this, but I do want to say that it's okay to be uncomfortable. The uncertainty gap between ages, eras, identities, careers, movement in relationship. Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable to get to the comfortable. It's time to learn what uncomfortable is and get the message that is in the uncomfortable. And the message is going to come from your emotions. Because if you learn how to navigate your emotions by defining them for yourselves, you don't need nobody's definition of sadness. You don't need nobody's definition of joy. You don't need nobody's definition of happiness. You don't need nobody's definition of nothing. We are in the phase of redefining, reconstructing, creating new infrastructures, new foundation, and that will come with language. This is why understanding AI is a thing. Understand the language. I don't care if you are, you feel some type of way. It's the man, all that. I don't care about that. Learn the language because this is how they got to telling you that you had junk DNA because they didn't want you to know about this. Everything that comes out is talking about you. It's always about you. So navigating this space is going to literally be you becoming selfish, not giving anything, charging up and letting go. Go through your storage as a biocomputer, check what's needed, what's not, what has duplicates, what's blurry, all the things. Why you still have that picture from 7 years ago. But not only do you have the picture, you got like 14 angles of it. How many do you need? And when was the last time you seen it other than when you went through your storage? When you go back to it? Clean out your storage. Clean out your life. Clean out your mind and reclaim your emotional body. I got to go, y'all. Have a good day.